Hello, everybody. Brian and I are happy to be here. This is the third of our three-part series on AI as assistive technology. And of course, as a backup, Brian and I have something prepared, but we are hoping that we won't use it because we really want to hear from you and get your experiences with using AI. So we're hoping that you're going to take us up on this offer to turn on your microphone and tell us for in a few minutes about experiences that you've had with artificial intelligence. Um, and so we're hoping that you'll do most of the talking, but if not, we've got a plan B. We've got a plan B, right? You
We
always have that.
we certainly do. But Adam and I were thinking about this last webinar. I was reflecting on my use of AI over the last couple of months. So I want to share some of the tools that I'm using, and I think it's really kind of interesting because I mean there's so much AI out there, but I think what you need to do is kind of figure out what are the tasks you're hoping to accomplish and how the AI can help you individually. And so at some point during this webinar, one of the tools that I started to use in the last about month or so is AI that's embedded in Adobe Acrobat. I oftentimes get IEPs, reports, documents, and now with AI being integrated in Adobe Acrobat, I can quickly pull out the information, have it summarized, ask questions. So it's been a real time saver for me. And I know Adam's going to talk a little bit about graphics. I do a lot of posting on LinkedIn and need graphics, and so using AI for creating graphics has been really fantastic for me. So when you think about AI, there's so much to it, but kind of think about some of the tasks that you need to accomplish or tasks your students need to accomplish and how the AI can be helpful.
Okay, so we're gonna jump in to our slideshow. And let me just.
I see it up there.
Yep. Okay. Just have to arrange all these windows. My goodness. Okay. And Naomi, do I need to turn captions on, or do we already have captions available?
Captions are available.
All right. Great. Thank you. So again, I'm Adam Krass, and with me today is Brian Friedlander. We're going to talk about reflecting on artificial intelligence tools within the context of assistive technology. And this presentation is funded by the Assistive Technology Advocacy Center of Disability Rights New Jersey. Thank you, Naomi. Today's presentation will be recorded and archived at ATAC's YouTube channel, and here's the link for it. And in fact, there's a lot of great archived assistive technology related webinars on that page. So I strongly encourage you to check it out. If you weren't able to see the live presentations, you can go through and see them on the YouTube page. So great resource for catching up on what's new. Here's the link to today's documents. I'm just going to put this into the chat. And this is the link to the Google Drive folder that has today's slideshow. A little bit about myself. I'm an assistive technology consultant working with children and adults with disabilities. I provide evaluations, training, ongoing support, webinars and workshops, and modifications and customization. Working in person in northern and central New Jersey and New York City area, or anywhere else via the wonders of the phone or the internet.
And I'm Brian Friedlander, and like Adam, I do assistive technology consulting in New Jersey, Central Jersey, North Jersey, and actually in out in Warren County and Somerset County as well. I'm available in person and online for training and webinars.
So I offer, and I believe Brian also does offer
Yes.
free 30-minute AT consultations for anyone with disability or a family member or a service provider, case manager, teacher, etc. These are all remote, so phone, Zoom, Meet, FaceTime, etc. If you'd like to set up a 30-minute consultation, please send me an email or give me a phone call or send me a text, and we'll set up a time for that uh, free virtual consultation. It's a good way to get started, or if you have a specific question on assistive technology, please reach out to us. Now, an important part of assistive technology is being able to try it out, especially for the more expensive technologies. And if you do not have access to it, but you're looking for a place where you can borrow assistive technology, look no farther than New Jersey's Assistive Technology Lending Center. This is funded by ATAC, thank you, Naomi, and it's housed at Advancing Opportunities. Here's their website. If you go to the website, you can search their database of assistive technologies that are available for borrowing, and you can even set up that loan online. So I strongly encourage you to take advantage. Everything is free. The shipping both ways is free, and it's an excellent resource we should all be taking advantage of if we need it. So we'd like to get a little bit of information about you, what's your role regarding assistive technology. So if you wouldn't mind taking a minute and going to this website, which I'm also going to put in the chat, or scanning the QR code, and filling out page 3 of the Mentipoll, telling us your role regarding assistive technology. It would be greatly appreciated. I'm just going to make that a little bit bigger. And let's just take a quick look at the Mentipoll. Okay, 4 of you have logged in so far. All right, 5, we're doing good. So if you could fill out complete page 3, that'd be great. We'll be coming back to the rest at the end of today's presentation. So thank you very much.
So it looks like, yeah, looks like most of the folks are in education, so that's great. Okay, you're in the right place, which is good.
Okay, so our plan B, which could be our plan A, is to look at these 7 AI apps: Goblin Tools, ChatGPT 4.0, not 0,
Oh,
Grammarly AI, Adobe Acrobat's AI tools that Brian mentioned before, the quizzing feature of Glean, Perplexity, and Microsoft Designer.
I may have thrown in one other one, but hopefully we'll get to it pretty quick, but we'll discuss it.
Okay, great. So, Tara, if you are with us now and you would like to turn on your mic and tell us a little bit about how you're using Goblin Tools, that would be great. If you come on a little bit later, we could circle back to you. So let's see.
Is she?
Tara, are you here? Okay.
If she's not, I can go over this again and.
Let's leave it for later. Yeah,
Okay.
if she can't make it, yeah, we should circle back to it
Just
because
yeah, just for those of you who may not be familiar, this is a great tool for students that probably have maybe difficulty organizing their time or maybe executive functioning disorder. And this uses AI to break down the task. And it also gives estimates as to how much time each task will take. So it's probably a great tool, I would say middle school, high school, and college students that you're working with to help them um, kind of break down the task and just to get an idea because I've found working with students they tend to underestimate how much time it's going to take to write papers, to do homework assignments, to do projects. So this can
Mm.
be really fantastic, tool for them to really begin to see what it's going to take and how many, how much time it's going to take. So this is a really good one, and especially very appropriate if you're working with college students who may be, be freshmen on campus in the fall.
Good point, Brian.
So
All right.
I put this video together because ChatGPT 4.0, as Adam said, not 0.0, is now available. My understanding, because I sat in when they released it, there was a webinar, and I thought that most of this was going to be free. At least that's what they said initially. It doesn't look like all the features are free, but it's very powerful, and they added voice interaction. So I just created a short little video to kind of show you how it works on the iPhone. So with the iPhone, you can actually use the camera, you can use your voice and interact with it. So we'll play this video. So if you can, yeah,
Ready?
go ahead, go.
Hi, this is Dr. Friedlander, and in this demonstration, I'd like to show you ChatGPT 4.0 that now introduces the concept of voice interaction. So I'm on my iPhone, I'm going to launch ChatGPT, and now I'm going to click on the headphones. I was wondering if you could tell me how would I solve the problem x plus 6 is equal to 12?
To solve the equation x plus 6 is equal to 12, you would subtract 6 from both sides of the equation. This gives you x plus 6 equals 12, x plus 6 minus 6 is 12 minus 6, so x equals 6.
I was wondering if you could tell me what would be the best way for a student with a learning disability to take notes in their psychology class?
For a student with a learning disability in psychology class, it can help to use a combination of methods. They could try recording lectures to listen to later, use visual aids like diagrams or charts, and focus on key points rather than trying to write everything down verbatim.
Could you recommend any specific software for note-taking that could be helpful?
Sure. Students with learning disabilities might find software like Evernote or OneNote helpful. These allow for organizing notes with audio recordings, images, and typed notes, making it easier to review information in different formats.
So you can see that once you end the voice chat, you also get the text that was outputted. I hope you found this helpful, and this could be a really interesting tool for not only you, but for your students to use. So again, this was ChatGPT 4.0 using voice notes. Hi, this is Dr. Friedlander, and in
Right.
to-
1 sec. Okay.
So the other thing too is you can also, when you have access to it, you can also use the hit the escape key. See if it, yeah. You can also use the camera to, let's say, take a picture of a math problem, ask it to solve it. So there's lots of interesting ways that you can use the ChatGPT 4.0, on your device, and students can certainly use it as well.
Okay, great. And by the way, you know, if you've used these tools, I'm speaking to all of you. If you've used these tools and you've had good or bad or in between experiences or questions about any of the tools as we're going along, I mean, we're not so big of a group that you can't turn on your microphone and chime in or tell us if you've used this tool. We'd like to hear your perspective as well. You know, we don't want to be the only ones talking today. That's the whole point of today's session. So feel free, don't be shy, jump right in. We're very friendly people. At least I am. I don't know about Brian.
Thanks.
and and you know we really would like to hear, you know, what happened when you tried it. Was it good? Did it work? Did it not work? Did you get some crazy stuff? Did you get useful stuff? And Grammarly is a tool that a lot of people know. They've added a lot of AI features to it. They are not part of the free version, but part of the paid version. And a lot of it is kind of the pre-writing stuff to help you with your thinking, with generating ideas, with getting started with something. And if you are or work with someone that needs something like this, then the AI tools within Grammarly might be helpful. And we have a little, whoops, we have a short video in here that I want to.
Yeah, I've been using Grammarly to write short blog posts on LinkedIn in reference to assistive technology, and it works really with the right prompts. It works really well. It really does.
Uh-huh. And here's just some examples of things that you could use Grammarly AI to do. Let's see.
The easiest way to use Grammarly to improve your writing is to take an article, paste it into Grammarly, and let it scan through what you've just written. Then it'll propose suggestions that you can accept or reject with a click.
Collaboration is key for team success. With
Sorry
ClickUp,
about
you
this.
can easily manage your team's tasks and timelines.
They always get those in.
They do.
Grammarly's AI Grammar Checker has 4 different reports that you're going to want to pay attention to: correctness, clarity, engagement, and delivery. If you're short on time, simply review the correctness report. These are the spelling and grammar checkers that Grammarly will suggest fixes for. If you have more time, review the clarity report, that is words and phrases underlined in blue. These are sentences and phrases that are a little bit unclear, and Grammarly will propose full sentence rewrites. The suggestions from the engagement and delivery report depend on how you tailor your goals inside of Grammarly. And in my Grammarly,
Right? Expanding and shortening sentences.
you can use Grammarly AI to improve the quality of your work. To show you how this works, here's an article I wrote some time ago about using fear and anxiety as fuel for creative work. So here is a power.
All right. And research.
You could also use the generative AI tool as a type of research assistant while you're working on any piece of content. So in this particular article, I've referenced the famous investor Charlie Munger. But let's say the reader didn't know who Charlie Munger is. Well, I could spend a few moments researching his biography online, or I could open up generative AI and could put in a prompt like, give me a 3-sentence biography of Charlie Munger. Grammarly will take just a second, and then it'll give me some text I could potentially insert into my article.
Okay, now it's important, as you probably know, to give credit. If you're going to have Grammarly AI do that for you and you're going to insert it in your writing, then you should be putting it in quotes or giving credit to Grammarly AI as the writer of that. So that's important. And Brian's been using it for generating texts.
Glad to If you want me to demo it, glad to do that.
Okay, let's do that, Brian.
Okay.
Thanks.
So let me just share my screen.
I probably have to stop sharing.
Yeah, you do. Let's see.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go here. Share. Let me just move this over here. So here's Grammarly floating. I'm using just as like WordPad, and I click on the little idea button, and I can say like, write a 5-sentence blog about using mind maps for note taking. And then all I do is click over here, and you can see it generates quickly. It generates this, and then what I can do is just hit the copy, and I'll close this for the time being. And now I can scroll down because this is the list of posts I've been doing, and just go here and do a paste, and you can see that how it generated this, and this would be enough for something LinkedIn. So whether you're using it, to maybe to communicate certain information about strategies or tools with parents, or whether you're using this, to market for marketing purposes, you can see how effective and how quick this can be. And then typically what I'll do is I'll put a link for a free 30-minute session, and I'll also use AI to create a graphic that goes along with the post. So this can really, if you're a content creator, a teacher, this could be a really quick way to, for tips and tricks that you can add to maybe a Google site, or for even emailing parents, some ways that strategies they may want to work with their students on particular, different scenarios. So I hope you found that to be helpful. It really is a great tool. I see that one of my friends, Sonia, is in the meeting, and Sonia is a native Spanish speaker, and she's been using ChatGPT to use it to improve her grammar. So there's lots of interesting ways that you can use that. I'm going to. Can you
Brian?
Yes. Do you see my screen? Or no? Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were done with Grammarly.
Yes, I am. Yep.
Okay. Tara has joined us,
Oh, great.
and whenever we're ready, she's ready to talk about Goblin Tools.
Oh, go for it. Go for it. Jump in.
Do you want to switch that slide, or do you want me to?
I'll switch it. Let's see, we're over. There we go.
Okay. All right, Tara, whenever you're ready, you can turn on your mic and tell us how you use Goblin Tools.
Or if you want to do a quick demo, you can share your screen and show us. That would be great also.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. I actually, unfortunately, don't have my cell phone on the meeting.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a cell phone app, and it's a fantastic app that is beyond its weird name, which is a little bit, you don't think of goblins when you think of assistive technology necessarily, and usually think of gremlins getting in the mechanics of something to make it go awry. What Goblin Tools does is it takes tasks and breaks it down into different levels of in-depth task analysis. So if you're looking on the screen right now, it'll tell you the step-by-step you need to take to write a research paper. And if you look on the right, it has these little peppers. The little spicy peppers tell you the amount of information or the level of detail that you want to give to your breakdown of information. So you select your peppers, you write down your question, you press it in, and then you go down to this little magic wand that's being selected right now, and you click it, and it breaks down that question into different segmented tasks. You can delete tasks if they're not relevant to what you're doing. You can add tasks. You can add subtasks to tasks. So if you're going to select a topic for your research paper, you could add subtasks that say, brainstorm or free write, or do a Google search, So you can really break down what you're doing. And I think that using this over time helps you develop stronger executive functioning with regard to planning. I think this is a great tool for kids and adults alike to use for things like, learning how to break down a task, learning how to, what do you need to do in order to clean your room effectively? And if what the magic of Goblin Tools puts down doesn't suit what you do, it's a great jumping off point for people to look at what most people do, and then you can adjust it to suit your particular need. So it's a really versatile tool, and for the cost of $1, it has been one of the coolest pieces of AT I have purchased in a few years.
Tara, are you using this with a particular, like, middle school, high school, or college students?
I use it with my elementary son. I use it with myself. I
Wow.
use it with my my son who's really disabled. My son has Fragile X syndrome,
Okay.
and so each of us has a different pepper level.
Mhm.
My oldest with Fragile X, he's got the 1 pepper because he's not ready for a
Right.
large breakdown. But my son, who's, for all intents and purposes neurotypical, he gets that breakdown to the level that he wants. He's the guy who's the tech savvy one who adds and takes away. So it's really interesting.
So you adjust the pepper level, which tells the program how much
Yes.
detail you want.
So if you do the sociology research paper and you put 1 pepper instead of 5 peppers or 4 peppers, when it breaks it down, it's only going to give you the number 1, 2, and 3 talking points or sub points.
Okay, that's great. So you can adjust it.
Yes.
Yeah. So if I write one pepper, let's see.
Yeah, you just move that bar.
Oh.
Then, you see, I got 2 peppers now. 1 pepper. Okay. And then hit the plus. And then if I click on this, and the nice part is the estimate button, so you can see it's going to take 14 days to write that research paper, which again, for especially a lot of high school or college students, this can be indispensable, especially if they have trouble with
and you can change that estimate, and you can change it in the sub points too, because you can see they all have them. So if it takes you 10 hours to do the research but only 2 to kind of break it into your talking points, and that doesn't reflect, you can change it, and it really helps you stay on track with what you need to do.
Got it.
But if you hit the little wand under psychology research paper that's at the 1 pepper, it'll show you that it will break down much less than the sociology research one.
Yeah. No, it's a really fantastic tool, and it should be on everyone's radar, especially working with, say, middle school, high school, and college students. But you working.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Brian froze up. And Tara, how did you hear about this?
Well, you might know Cindy Weber, but Cindy Weber brought it to me from FSO Cumberland Gloucester Salem. And because she knows that I struggle with executive functioning skills like planning. And as a student, it really helped me, and I kept telling her, I don't know how to break down cleaning your room to my child. How are we going to do this? And so having her introduce this to me and then actually starting to use it was really a beneficial step in supporting the building of skills for the kids.
Do you also add images or pictures with it sometimes?
You can.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because if your kid is like mine, you can use PECs to augment the tech you're using. You can print these lists on the computer, so then it becomes like a printable checklist that you can use to mark things off. So it's a really versatile tool.
Good, thank you. Thank you.
And Sonia looks like she has her hand raised. Do you want to add to this, Sonia?
Yes, I have a question for Taras, right? So it got my attention. You mentioned that the app, so because I am in the actual website, and I was trying to see if there was any pricing. I don't see is there a cost associated with it?
That's a great question. It's $1. It's $1 one-time purchase, not a monthly fee.
Yeah.
It's just $1.
So,
but-
Sonia, if you go to the Patreon button, that's where you can make the donation. See, it says Patreon at the top.
Oh, okay, so that's for the web version, and then what about the mobile version?
That's the $1, I think, for the phone.
Yeah, it looks like there's Android phone and iOS. If you click on those, the app
Oh,
icons
yeah,
at the top.
yeah, right there, yeah.
So I guess the online version is free, the web-based version is free, and the app is $1. Does that sound right?
It looks like, okay, so that was one question. The other things that you might, I'm not your typical, I'm not in the education environment, but I collaborate, more like a think tank brainstorming with Brian on the tools that you use for the student, believe it or not, even for people that we are in the business and working, so we need that in this one, definitely it has, it's a fantastic tool. There is, I don't know if everybody's familiar with this book, Organize Tomorrow Today.
We'll have to look at it.
No, I never heard of it.
Okay, so in there is a chapter where it says, I think it's chapter 3, it says, it says attack the white space. And what it is, it says that you, if you have, let's say, you had a meeting and then you finish before then. So if you have like a 15 minutes or 30 minutes or depending on the time that you have, so then you try to take care of those tasks that that you can complete in that amount of time. So I can see Goblin for that because here in the business world, right, sometimes we struggle, right? So we said like, oh my gosh, we are running from meeting to meeting to meeting. So having Goblin, I can see definitely how I can, some of the principles that they teach here in this book so that I can use Goblin for it. So, I know that this is not a typical audience, but these college students, they're gonna graduate, they're gonna get into the workforce, right? So
Yes.
many times, so some of the tools that they might be exposed during their school years, they can bring them into be more productive once they come into their the workforce. So anyway, so I thank you so much, Tara. Now I'm gonna tell all my friends about it, and also my friends with kids, because we struggle, right? So how to stay on track.
Yeah,
It really is.
Thanks. I just pasted the link to that book. Thank you, Sonia, for sharing that. That was helpful. All right, so getting back.
Great.
And
Well,
thank you.
Tara,
Thank you so much. Really appreciate your help.
Anytime, I'll
Tara.
keep bringing the apps. My son really appreciates your AT for high school math, so I'll keep coming in with new ideas.
Hey,
Sounds
Brian.
all right, it's a
Yes.
deal.
Brian, so earlier you said you should credit Grammarly, I can't remember who it was, for having written something. Grammarly, of course, does make lots of good suggestions.
Yeah.
How far do you carry that? Are you going to say, oh, and you should credit Goblin Tools for helping you come up with a plan here for tackling this problem?
I mean, I haven't used, I use Grammarly for doing more kind of, quick content creation. I know that at the university level, a lot of the universities are requiring referencing or citing the fact if you're using ChatGPT or any other AI. I haven't, for creating 5-sentence content, I haven't cited it. But I don't know what where the trend will be going, in the future. But I haven't, when it's not, I'm not using it in a research or academic arena. I'm just using it for content creation. So far I haven't referenced it.
Yeah, that was me, Ken, and it's a good question. I mean, I think in general, if you're taking a quotation that someone else wrote and you're using it, let's say you're writing an article or you're writing a paper, you give credit to it unless you're going to paraphrase it or put it in your own words, like you would do with any other reference. But to just copy and paste and put it into, let's say, a research paper, or if you're a journalist into an article and not give credit, and you know, and take credit take credit as you are saying that you're the author, you know, I think that's a pretty clear line at this point, but I guess it will evolve.
You know, I think this is a topic for philosophy class, but to be honest, how do you credit a machine in the first place? You can credit a person because you want to do two things. Say, you know, this person came up with the idea initially. That's credit of a kind. And then the other is you're pointing to them as a source of information for future research. You can't point to Grammarly or even ChatGPT as a source for future research, or to say, boy, they came up with it first. I think there is a ethical line here that probably needs to be a little clearer.
Yeah.
And
well, you bring up a lot of good points.
Yeah, and it probably will evolve. So we'll have to, you know, maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll have a webinar on that. That might be really interesting. Sonia, I see you have your hand up. Would you like, you can feel free to jump in.
There was one YouTube video because now it's making easier, ChatGPT is making easier to write content, right? So like, for example, there is a lot of people that are, you know, creating, writing books and things. So when you go to Amazon, when you self-publish, so right there, you know, in the video, I saw that you have the option to say if you use AI, whether to write not everything, but part of the content, or if you use the tool to help you to write it or to create the images, right there, Amazon has a way. Even if you, let's say for it, you know, that you are not ethical and you don't disclose that you use AI. So there are tools that can actually identify if what you wrote was done using AI. So I don't remember, you know, because it was one of those videos. It's like, oh, wow. So because now the universities and schools and everybody in the industry are facing that challenge, people are using AI, whether we like it or not. So
Yes.
now they're using, developing these AI tools to identify if it was 100% written by a human, or if you use AI to create that content. So I thought that, I mean, it's worth, you know, researching what, I don't know if I find Brian the video, I will send it to you so that you can look at it, because that's pretty good. So
That's great.
I think this is all a passing fad. This idea that people are going to be able to identify whether something is machine created or human created, and the whole reason for a distinction is all going to be a passing fad. Those tools that Sonia is referencing are like, you know, they're wrong 60% of the time. So universities don't rely on them anymore because they would run into legal issues if they claimed somebody hadn't written it based on the output of one of these tools. But these are going to be so integrated. They're going to be so integrated into everything we do that we're just going to have to come up with a new mindset here as to what it means to be human created.
Yes, you can. If I might, I just wanted to turn the conversation to an assistive technology related comment that Lyle Williams sent out, and I'd just like to really bring everyone's attention to it because it's an excellent tool. It's designed for students with disabilities, and she was talking about the simplified page tool that's part of Read and Write for Google. And I'm a big user of Read and Write for Google, but I wasn't aware that that tool is AI powered. And that's a really great point, Lyle. This is an excellent tool that strips out all the extraneous ads and videos from a web page, but it also enables you to change the reading level of the content, which is great for, you know, kids who may not be on the reading level that the content was written. So I just wanted to bring that up.
And yeah, Adam, thanks for bringing it up. And on that note, look for some big changes in Read and Write actually starting in July, but in the fall, because they're going to be integrating co-writer into the tools, and they're going to start adding some of the snap and read features as well. But yeah, so look for that. Some big changes happening.
And forgive me for, taking a U-turn, but our focus is working with people with disabilities. So just trying to bring it back to our main focus for today. But I do appreciate everyone's comments on AI and
No,
they're really
Adam,
good points.
Adam, the point here is that these tools can be used by people with disabilities, and there's resistance to allowing people with disabilities to use these for the very same reasons you're bringing up.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it is an
That's
interesting.
a good point, Ken.
So I'm gonna kind of move into just kind of showing you Adobe Acrobat. I mean, for me, it's been a great assistive technology. But again, if you're a student that may have reading challenges and you're getting PDFs in high school or college, this can be really helpful. I'm gonna open up my so hopefully you should be able to see this. So this is the full version of Adobe Acrobat. I'm going to select the file, and I'm going to select, I believe it's this one here. So this is a research article on improving writing feedback for struggling writers, generative AI to the rescue. And you can see up here, I can click on the AI assistant, and then here is it pulled out some of the top points of in the document, but you can see it then also can generate some potential other inquiry. So if I click on which source referenced in the document, you can see that it wants me generating a response. So what's nice about this is that I've been using this a great deal for basically quickly going through some very large IEPs when I'm doing assistive tech evaluations, but college students could certainly use this when they're doing research, which can be really helpful for them. So just wanted to show you that. There is an additional, all these, I mean, they're bleeding us to death with subscription fees. This one runs an additional, I want to say like $40 a year for this feature, but it's been indispensable for me. So again, if it works for you, this could be a great add-on, and you can see it just pulled out all the references in this article for me. So again, keep it in mind if you're working with students that have reading challenges, where this can be really really helpful. Let's see.
Now,
yes,
Brian,
yes,
would you say that these extra features in Adobe are similar to something like Umada, where you can feed it, the article that you wanted to look at to summarize, etc.?
I haven't tried it. I'll have to go back and take a look at it. I mean, I work so much in Adobe Acrobat, it just makes more sense for me. The other part as well, since I am working with information that's confidential, is Adobe privacy policy states that it only processes the information in the cloud, but it doesn't store any information there. So I feel a little bit more confident with that using that information. So let me see. So
and it's not necessarily all online. Half of it's probably installed tools.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. So one of the tools that's used, I would say predominantly, maybe in some high schools, but definitely in college, is Glean. And Glean has incorporated AI. So this is a presentation that I did on taking notes that incorporates using Glean. But one of the tools they recently added was this, looks like a graduation cap. And when I click on it, you can see I can click on generate quiz. So it will take the contents of that lecture that the student was in at, and if I click on generate quiz and I click on start quiz, it will go into the contents and ask you questions based on it. So it says, what are some of the advantages of using Glean for taking notes? I can click on here and it gives you feedback. So it will generate a host of questions based on the content of the lecture, again, for self-study and for the student to quiz themselves. So that's a nice feature, easy to use. And if you're using Glean, it's built right in. Also, Glean just added a feature called Scribble that now allows students to, to draw on the screen if you have a computer that can support, a stylus, so that you can actually add diagrams and images to the contents while you're taking lessons. The other tool that could be really helpful, again, and this is definitely some, I would say policy issues that we need to deal with, is that the public schools have been really resistant to allowing students to use audio or audio recordings. But when we look at most of the note-taking and, supportive AT tools that are available, they all require or they all utilize audio and transcription. This is called TurboScribe, and if you
Brian,
yes,
Brian, before you move on to the next tool, there was a question in the chat from Lyle. Is there a difference concern using this similar functionality, I think when you were talking about Glean, through ChatGPT, i.e. to upload the PDF and ask Chatty to answer questions? I
don't think there's any difference. The only thing is I feel more confident knowing what the confidentiality policies are with Adobe, and since I tend to be an Adobe user, I'm just using that. I just feel a little more confident with their privacy policy. But there may not be that much difference in functionality, but I haven't tried it yet, so I'd have to try it. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I was corrected. Lyle meant when using Adobe, but you figured that out, Brian.
Okay, great. So TurboScribe, I mean, all of these are, subscription services. This one allows you, I think, 3 uploads a day. And it's pretty quick, pretty accurate. So if you have students that they can go in and record audio on their iPhone, Android phone, or even a digital audio recorder, and then they can take the audio and then upload it to here. So to transcribe, I'm in TurboScribe. The other thing too is if you're in ChatGPT, TurboScribe is now one of the tools that you can connect to it. So I can click on this and do the same thing. But I'm just going to show you, I think I have a short file I'm going to drag. Let's see if I can find that file. That's not that one. So I just have a little YouTube video, and I click. You can see that you have fastest, balanced, and most accurate. So this will take a little bit longer. And you can see that you can also transcribe different languages. You can recognize speakers. I'm just going to hit transcribe, and you can see that it's working. It's working on it. Hopefully it should get done pretty quick. I think it was like 2.5. It was 3 minutes, so it should go pretty fast. So now when I click on it, you can see I can open the transcript. So there's the whole transcript. This was just 3 minutes. But again, for students that want to use audio, this could be a great way to utilize it. And like everything else, there's a whole bunch of different services. This one I found to be very, very accurate, which is nice, and it also integrates with ChatGPT. But most of these allow for a certain number of minutes free, and then you pay for additional ones. So this is also a subscription. So most of these are subscription.
Brian?
Yes.
Have you compared TurboScribe with Otter AI in terms of accuracy?
No, but I mean, Otter AI does a really good job. I mean, let's take a look. So those of you who are using Otter AI, so with Otter AI, they have an import feature. You can see I can just I can click on import, and I can do the same thing. I can drop it. Oh, You can see I don't have I just have a trial version, so I can't try it. But I mean, Ada does a really good job as well with the
Mhm.
you know, with the transcription as well. And there's a lot, every day there's more and more transcription tools that are available. So I see there's a question.
That's great.
Okay, Glean is a great tool for students registered with, yes, absolutely. Yeah, yes, Microsoft Word. Thank you, Lyle. Microsoft Word also has a feature, and currently, let me just put this. You can see up over here, if I go to transcribe, I
The
could
365 version.
the 365. So you can see I can upload audio. Let's see, my desktop. So here's a YouTube. Let's see. And currently, it doesn't. I guess maybe a lot of people are unaware of it. There used to be a limit. It doesn't look like there's a limit any longer, so that you can use that free. So Lyle, thanks for reminding us about that. But it is a great service, and it's short. So you can see here, and if I click on just the text, you can see it just added the text right to the document. So this, again, another good workflow for students who want to then maybe use the text for notes, to highlight information. That would be great. So Lyle, thanks for reminding us about that. So a lot you can see is, and I would say every day I'm getting another email about a new transcription service. So there's like literally tons of them out there. I mean, you just need to figure out what makes the most sense for you and what you want to do with that information. So using, let's say, if you have Office 365, and typically for students going off to college or universities, a lot of the universities have enterprise licenses, so students can get access to 365 at no cost to them once they get to the university. Still, they'll have access, to these tools at no cost.
Yeah. Brian, that's great. Shahida or Lyle, if you want to turn on your microphones and tell us about your experience with Glean, Shahida, or with Microsoft Word's Transcribe, Lyle, feel free to do so.
Yeah, hi. Hi, this is Shahida. I work in the Disability Services Office for Rutgers, and I do note-taking services. Glean, I have found, is just a great tool for the for our students. I love the fact that its audio is clear. You can take notes, and the transcription now that they provide, brilliant. Because I mean, some students, they don't want to take notes themselves, but they want to see it in print. And so after they record it, they can see it, the bubbles that it's being recorded. But afterwards, they can have the transcription, and this is a great bonus for them. And now also to have the study, I call it Study Buddy, that can give them like little quizzes, and also the fact that they brought up Scribble. I think Glean is like a really great tool.
And Shahida, does Rutgers provide that for students if they need it?
Yes, it's provided free to our students.
Okay, because I know there's a difference between the organizational license and an individual license of Glean.
Yes,
in terms of which features are available.
Yeah, we have the institutional license, and with that we get all of the features.
That's great.
Yeah, I do have I do have the transcript available. You can see up over here, it goes between the audio and the transcript, and these can be exported. And you can see too, they just added the Scribble feature down here that would allow you to, to do drawings to include in the notes, which is nice. You can see that was included in there, so you could bring in an image, or if you have a computer that supports a stylus or drawing, you'd have access to that as well. So yeah, it's a great all around tool. Absolutely.
And Shahida, what's the typical learning curve for students, who are new to Glean? in your experience?
Actually, it's very user-friendly, very user-friendly.
Okay.
What it does is it has skill portals that I can direct them to, or if necessary, like I can just have a one-on-one with them, and they pick it up, like within 10 to 15 minutes. And generally, if they don't want to be uploading anything to it, like such as PowerPoints, and they don't want to make their own notes, all they have to do is just know how to record, and then they've got the transcription for it. So
Nice.
yeah.
Are you also finding, do you have students that are just audio recording lectures and using transcription just on its own, outside of, are they, what tools are they using for that? Do you know?
Well, this is it. They use their iPhones.
Use their iPhones. Okay.
They use their iPhones, but the transcription part, I mean, like, this is it. They don't get that. They generally, if the students that I'm working with, they will just use Glean.
Okay.
And we're also going to offer Messenger Pigeon to them shortly.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes, and that's another one that provides the transcription through AI.
So this is Messenger Pigeon. So yeah.
You talked about that, Brian.
Yeah. Interesting.
Great.
Interesting.
Oh, excellent. Thank you, Shahida.
Thank you. You're
Lyle,
welcome.
did you want to add anything to your comment, or are you okay with what you wrote?
Yeah, sure. Quickly, I love the retail products that are out there. They're fantastic, but of course they come at a cost, and not all of our students have access to funding. And so I like to use low cost, no cost solutions as much as possible. And the majority of our post-secondary, K-12 institutions have access to incredible Microsoft products. Like OneNote is a phenomenal tool for note taking, right? You can do live captioning in OneNote where it will transcribe right into the doc for you. You can have it take an audio file and transcribe that to text as well. You can draw your notes right in OneNote. You can import docs, PDFs, whatever. OneNote is almost limitless in what it can do. You can do math. You can generate math questions and quiz yourself in the tool. So the beauty of Microsoft products is that they're just integrated, and in most cases, they're free for students. And it's a good transition to the work world because they're probably going to use that product there as well.
That's a good point. And a lot of colleges do offer, student subscriptions to Microsoft 365. That's not uncommon. So it's a good point, Lyle.
Yeah, one of the issues that both Adam and I face is that OneNote could be accessible through the web-based version, but most of the schools are using Chromebooks, so they're not familiar with a lot of the Microsoft, I would say, products and services. I mean, Microsoft has done an incredible job of providing accessible tools and integrating, in a sense, assistive technology into their Office 365, but so many people are just unaware of the range of tools and what they can do.
Yeah. We're getting towards the end of our time today. We might not be able to get to all the tools that Brian and I put on our list.
Could I just show one more? Just one more.
One more.
This morning I asked it to generate a graphic, but it could be just really easy. Generate a graphic.
What tool is this, Brian?
So I'm just in Copilot in Microsoft Edge. It uses Copilot Designer for students. Generate a graphic of students recording lectures with an iPhone. Let's see what happens. You can put anything in there, and I'm going to hit submit, and then it's going to generate at least 4 images that I can use, for a blog post or for just about anything. So you can see it's using DALL-E 3, and then if you wanted to, you can bring it into Designer to do some more customization. But you can see it gives me some other options here, so you can see how it generated these tools, and then I can just download it and use it for my my blog post. So I mean, it's a great tool, and you can see that you can actually go in and kind of change it around a little bit. So if you're looking for graphics to use with either posts or with lessons, this can be a great tool that then allows you to even customize it. But again, to kind of jazz up your handouts or worksheets or any kind of digital content, this could be a great tool. So you can see that these are some of the images that were generated. So have fun.
That's great.
Play around.
That's great,
Have
Brian.
fun. Have fun and
I think
play
we're
around.
that's great. I think we're gonna have to wrap it up. Can you just go to the last slide with the Menti poll QR code? If you would be so kind as to complete your Menti polls, we would be eternally grateful. If you've ever been on a grant, you got to collect info about things that you're doing. So it would be a great big help to us if you could do that. And we are out of time. I wanted to thank Naomi for facilitating, and Brian and I appreciate everyone's input today. And the last screen has all of our contact info if you want to get in touch with us.
But Adam,
I think we lost Brian.